Hello, welcome to the Claret and Blue podcast post-match reaction, our first winning post-match reaction since, I think, the 11th of February, which is a month ago against Brighton, in case you've all forgotten. It's nice, isn't it, to be talking about winning football?
It is actually, yeah. It is these ones in recent weeks I've really dreaded coming on. And my only frustration about coming on tonight is I still haven't had my tea yet, but I don't know what I've got. I think I've got steak kidney pie actually, and chips, proper old bloke's grub.
You're feeling a bit under the weather as well, aren't you?
I'm not feeling great, I must admit, and I think I put my back out this morning getting picking something out of the washing basket, which is a lesson for me to never do any laundry.
That's tragic.
But anyway, enough about that.
Enough about that, indeed. This is, of course, European knockout football. It's a two-legged affair. We're 1-0 up at half-time, aren't we here? Imagine us jumping on a podcast 45 minutes into a game. It's kind of similar vibes, I guess. You can't be too overconfident, especially because there's only one goal in it. And the job's not done, right? So this is not a massive celebration of, oh, yes, we should get through to the quarterfinal. It's not that at all. God forbid Lille score in the first few minutes next week and we're back to where we started. So this is not like, let's all get carried away. But park that for a sec. It's just nice to win a game of football. Whether we played well or not, we'll talk about it in little bits, I'm sure. But it's a results business, isn't it? Knockout football. And I was expecting us maybe to draw, possibly lose, to be honest. I didn't really foresee us winning because of the run that we've been on. And you absolutely take it, don't you? However it comes.
Yeah, it's a win. It's a clean sheet. It's an Ollie Watkins goal. Yeah. And we've been after those things for quite a while, haven't we? All of those things. And I've got stanky pie for tea. So it's got to go down as a better end to the day than
one of the best Thursdays ever. Yeah. When that team news came out, we'll go straight back to it. You know, looking at it with the Dean's back in there, Buendia's back in there, Ollie Watkins back in there, or still in there, maybe I should say. I'm sure everyone's thinking exactly the same thing. Buendia will assist Ollie Watkins later tonight and we'll win the game. That's what I thought when I saw the team news. Did you?
I felt a bit sorry for the Villa admin actually when I saw the team news. I didn't read the comments, but I've been around long enough to have a sense of what the comments look like. Yeah, you know, we've all been advocating changes probably for the last, I don't know,
last month.
Yeah, I'd have thought so. But ultimately, it's paid off. I'm sure we'll get to Watkins in good time. But Emery's kept faith with him. He's eventually repaid that faith with what's proved to be the winning goal tonight, or at least the half-time winning goal. Yeah, it's one of those ones where I don't think you can underestimate going away and keeping a clean sheet and winning away.
Yeah,
in Europe. And I didn't watch the whole of the episode that you did, the Villa Social, the other night, but I think it must have been one of the clips that I saw about Simon Lyons saying that Europa League probably gets a bit of a rough deal now, whereas the UEFA Cup didn't. And the main difference is the financial rewards on offer. And I think that's right. I think we shouldn't really underestimate this competition if we are able to go a little bit further, i.e. win the bloody thing, then it'd be a brilliant achievement. And I think given I won't say is it negativity or worry, concern and anxiety that's followed Aston Villa for certainly the last fortnight, I think that's a really, really impressive result tonight. And I thought the performance was good. I didn't think it was brilliant. I thought that at times in the first half, we were still a little bit ragged and a little bit clumsy in possession. And I did worry whether, giving them the ball back too easily at times was going to come back and haunt us. But we're a better team than Lille. We've proved it tonight, and we've just got to finish the job at Villa Park next week.
Yeah, and they've had a few chances. Obviously, we don't have a shot on target in the first half, but there's moments where, and it's very kind of, the narrative of Villa a nearly team. Are they full of nearly men? Are we ever going to get over the line? It felt like nearly chances. Like, we're kind of threatening to just about do something and then fall down, before it culminates and actually getting inside the box or a shot going wide or whatever. And it just felt a bit like we look a little bit better here, but it's still not quite right. It feels like we're nearly there. We're nearly doing something, and that's possibly not going to be enough. everyone's perception of this game before and after it will be different. There's a few comments suggesting like, yeah, well, we should have scored 2 or 3 and we didn't. Like the tie should already be over. I never really thought it was going to be like that anyway. If you went into this game thinking, you know what, Villa could lose here, like me, I'm buzzing with that. I was not expecting us to win. I'd absolutely snap your hand off for 1-0 before the game. I'd have snapped your hand off for a draw, to be perfectly honest, just to kind of take something back into the game next week. And as I say, Lille could score early next week and that'd be back level pegging again. But forget that for now. Villa have got the advantage and we'd have all taken that beforehand. So I don't think we did play brilliantly. There's still parts to improve, absolutely. You've got some kind of half chances and you're probably not taking them as you should. You know, Anana's hit the post, hasn't he, towards the end as well. So, yeah, Villa 6 months ago maybe do win 2 or 3-0. But we're not the Villa of 6 months ago at the moment. We're the Villa who hasn't won for a month and have had shocking performances week in, week out for the last couple of weeks. So to go and win away in a hostile environment in a Europa League knockout game, I ain't grumbling with that.
Yeah, I think the clean sheet was the thing for me because we desperately needed. I'm going to reel off all the cliches now. Back to basics. Give us a platform to build on, etc., etc. And we did that, and I think that's going to be important. Get ahead of myself, but it's not only a few days away. That's going to be important. That professional display and that resilient display is going to be important going to Old Trafford on Sunday as well. So, yeah, it still doesn't. It's probably still not the most free flowing in the forward areas. I don't know. Has it been all season?
It's been better than it has been, definitely. But, there's probably a period in that game where it felt like none of those forward options were having a good game. I mean, we spoke in the week about, Buendia gets a lot of criticism, but why does Rodgers never get some? He's not playing well at the moment. And I've agreed with that. I don't think he has played particularly well. I don't think he's played well tonight either, but not many of them have, right? In the attacking areas, I think we've been better defensively. Who your man of the match options? Bogard, maybe, right back, who, I don't think he's a right back, but played well and a nice steady performance. I thought Nana played his better game than he has over the last couple of weeks as well. So, we've won 1-0, but our better players are probably the defensive ones. So that probably shows that maybe, going forward, we're not maybe as ruthless as we need to be.
Yeah, I agree. I think I probably would give it Bogart. That was an area of concern for me. We know that Matty Cash has been one of our better, most consistent players this season. If you actually, I don't know why I'm saying this. Is your social media timeline been filled with Matty Cash's new commercial deal?
I've seen a couple of them. Yeah.
So he's clearly, I don't know whether he's injured. I think he's just staying back because he's got a freezer full of what they call. Is it Simmer or something? I
don't know. I've not paid enough attention to actually know the brand name and the advertising to have worked on me. But I did see one comment that was like, maybe he should be back in training rather than flogging ready meals or whatever. And it's like, it doesn't work like that. But funny.
There was something about that as well. Was Matson out and about doing some stupid video or something the other night? And somebody said, "Oh, forget about that."
Should be in training on his day off on a Sunday or whatever it was.
Yeah, 9:30 on a Tuesday night or whatever it was. But yes, I thought Bogard played really well. Just very, very neat and tidy, very diligent defensively, and I probably would give it him. And like you said, that says it all about the type of performance that it was and that it needed to be.
Yeah. Let's talk about the goal then. Ollie Watkins been desperate for one, and something we spoke about on that Villa social of, actually I know you spoke about it on the Claret and Brew at the start of the week, that Tammy kind of gets a bit of positivity for he's scored a couple of goals that shouldn't have been, but we go, oh, well done, Tammy. Ollie Watkins scores one that was ruled offside, but maybe shouldn't have been because it was so tight, and it's like, oh, boo, Tammy Abraham. Ollie Watkins, sorry. He's now scored back-to-back goals, technically, if you want to kind of really scrape for positives. But no, obviously not. But scoring a goal in a different way. Conser goes long. Emery Buendia wins a header that he's probably got no right to win. And Ollie Watkins chips the keeper with a header. It's a very unusual goal, but again, you absolutely take it. As we've been saying for weeks, try something different.
Yeah, it was... what was I going to say? Somebody said in the comments that I noticed a little bit earlier that it's when he does things instinctively.
We've said that before, haven't we? Yeah,
tends to work. When he's given too much thinking time, it doesn't always work. Wasn't his first goal of the season a little kind of, not with his head, but wasn't that an instinctive lob earlier this season? Or am I confusing it with something else? I can't remember. But it's funny because my this sums up Ollie Watkins to me. My nephew sent me a WhatsApp message saying, "Lovely header from Ollie that." And then I didn't reply. Then about 1 minute later, never mind. What's he just done? So I'm thinking, even when he's got his redemption, it lasts for a minute or a minute and a half before he misses the next chance. But yeah, hopefully that goal will have given him some confidence. Emery will probably drop him now. He scored the goal anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's been the narrative for ages. Like, how is he still playing? And again, his overall game with the other forwards are not very good. You know, sloppy passing. The chance that he's gone down when he's running through on goal and he's going down buying the penalty, it just looks really clumsy. I'm not sure it's a foul on the keeper, and I don't really think it's a penalty. And I think he should probably just shoot rather than try to take it around the keeper anyway. What did you think of that?
Do you know what I thought of that? I think that if that's Harry Kane, he scores the goal and wins the penalty. Doesn't he? Because he slots
very clever from Kane.
He slots it or he dinks it, and he stays in the goalkeeper's line, so he gets taken out as well. Watkins, you either get your shot away there or you get fouled. And I think he's, I don't know. Listen, we want players to be honest and stuff like that, but why are you doing everything to get out the goalkeeper's way? Surely the goalkeeper should be getting out your way. Yeah. But listen, he scored the goal that won the game, and I think yes, he probably should have scored a second. And if he had done, I don't want to count my chickens, but that probably would have been, should have put us in a really, really strong position in the tie. But given it's been such slim pickings for Watkins, I think let him have his moment of being the match winner tonight.
Yeah, I agree. If this time next week we're saying, if we'd have scored more in the away leg, we'd have been better off tonight, then that's a different conversation. But if Villa progress through to the quarterfinals, when you look back on, if hopefully we go on to win the thing, and you look back on how did Villa get there, Ollie Watkins scored the goal to start the run in the knockout section of the tournament. All right, he missed a couple of chances, but we won the game 1-0 and he scored it. That's where it goes down in the history book. So, yeah, hopefully this is the beginning of something, not just for Villa in this competition, but for Ollie Watkins as well. I actually, we often say before we start these, should we try and just keep this to 20, 25 minutes? I think we might actually do that today for a change, because it does feel like half time. McGinn, though. And I don't want to come and be, I told you so. But we spoke last week about when these players return from injury, and when we've seen it before, they've come back in and they've looked good straight away. Yeah, but John McGinn might take 3 or 4 weeks to get up to speed. You'll hear when he comes back, he might take 3 or 4 games, and the time's run out. John McGinn looks like he's not missed a minute. He's been missing for the last 10 games, but he comes on. It's like, oh yeah, there he is. Look, doing what he does with his arse, doing what he does, that little spin. It's exactly the same. He is back, right? And that's a massive positive.
Yeah, I was a bit... I'm surprised that I know he took him, but I was surprised that he put him on, to be honest. But he probably wanted to get a little bit of...
some minutes in him for Sunday.
Minutes in his legs to try and get him back in the starting lineup on Sunday. But that's John McGinn, isn't it? What you see is what you get, a kind of whirling dervish. What did the commentator say? If you were teaching... this is not me having a dig at Buendia, but the commentator said that if you were teaching kids how to protect the ball, you get them to watch YouTube videos of John McGinn. And then it cut to Emery Buendia, who gave the ball away about 3 seconds later. What did you think of Buendia tonight? First of all...
Say that again, you cut out then massively.
How's he won that header?
How's he won the header? Yeah, he's got no right to win that header. And he's pretty good in the air, I think. I don't know, maybe for his height, he's good in the air. I don't know, I've been saying it for weeks. I think he's an okay squad player for a team that's pushing top 6. And he started the last 7 or 8 games, I want to say, off the top of my head. Maybe that's in the league, maybe it's all competitions. And I've thought pretty much, every game comes after the one before it. And I thought, surely Buendia is not doing enough to start again. And then he does. But then part of me also wonders, well, who comes in for him anyway in those areas? Right, Bailey's not played very well. Sancho, I don't think, is playing very well. Watkins and Tammy probably aren't going to play together. There's not probably enough in the midfield to play a midfield three. So Buendia is almost getting in by default, is how I feel about it. But never really does enough to impress me. Like, yeah, he runs around a bit. But I see that as that more kind of chaotic thing of, well, he'll run about a bit and put himself about, but he'll probably to the extent of just getting a booking, giving the ball away and just being a bit sloppy. Again, if we go on to progress through this tie, he set up Watkins to score the goal to start off this little journey. So that's all we'll ever remember. But for a period of time now, I just don't think he's been to the standard. You said after Wolves, didn't you, that you thought he was poor in that game specifically, but I think he's been poor for a while.
Yeah, I think what you see more and more is his second touch is a tackle or a foul because he's not getting the ball under control. Although, you know, I think sometimes we do point the finger at Buendia, but Sancho, is he doing enough? I mean, there's an opportunity in the second half where, you know, he's taken 2 heavy touches, and when there's an opportunity for him to actually go straight towards goal, he finds himself near the corner flag because he's not got the ball under his spell. But I don't think Buendia has been of the standard, but I do think he's an easy scapegoat for us, and I can include myself with that because you mentioned Morgan Rogers there, and Rogers often, you know, a heavy touch will give the ball away and that'll give momentum back to the opposition. But because we know that Rogers is capable of those big moments, you know, those marauding runs and stuff, we probably forgive him a little bit more. But I don't think, you know, listen, we've won the game, we've scored 1 goal, and probably say, yes, we probably should have had 2 or 3 more. But the fact that we haven't, to me, is a sign that forward line still
isn't clicking,
malfunctioning to a degree.
Yeah, I completely agree. A couple of comments about injuries. One from about Alice in there from King 81, and there was one about Barkey earlier on. I just don't think they're in the Europa League squad because you can only re-register 3, can't you? 3 new additions. So Bailey, Douglas Luiz, and Tammy. They're the 3 that have come in. So we didn't hear anything from the press about any injuries, Barkley or Allison. So I assume it's just that they're not in the squads, more so than a fitness thing, which is again a frustration because if Allison is in that squad, and this is, you know, you can't kind of have it all right if he's in it, one of the others isn't in it. But if he was, you would be looking at him as maybe being Buendia's replacement potentially. So, yeah, we'll probably see a different lineup on Sunday, and then a different lineup again next Thursday. So we've got some options, but not loads of massive quality. I don't think. You know, if McGinn does come in and start on Sunday, then someone else who's playing now is on the bench, and that makes the bench look stronger. So, yeah, I mean, we'll talk about Sunday tomorrow probably. I think that might be you and me again. I'll talk to you about that afterwards. So we won't get into it now. But yeah, we've not played particularly brilliantly, but we've won away in the first leg of a knockout competition when I didn't think we'd win. So I'm happy.
Yeah, I think it's a massive week for us, and I don't tend to go into the, you know, hype of season defining and must wins and stuff like that. But I do think these 3 games, Lille away tonight, Man United away on Sunday, and Lille back at Villa Park on next Thursday. Those are really, really, really important fixtures, stating the obvious, I know.
Yeah.
And the way we look at it tonight is that we've ticked off the first of them with a satisfactory, successful outcome. It's probably calmed things down a little bit ahead of Man United on Sunday. And I know you said you're going to talk about that in greater depth, you know, in the next couple of days. But that one's already, I don't know, that one already freaks me out. I mean, how have we got to a situation where Villa have been on a barnstorming run of wins? Man United have been a load of cack for most of the season, and yet we're still going there. There's massive jeopardy on it again. When's this going to end?
Never. We're destined to always be in toil with Man United. Brett Riverboat says, this Lille side is miles off the last time we played them. Are people honestly happy with that? Lille are a bottom league championship team equivalent, and a good Giroud 10 years ago scores that header. 39-year-old Giroud doesn't tonight, and whether they're championship level or not, it doesn't matter. You beat what's in front of you. Do you know what I mean? Like, what's the alternative then? Lille are crap. Oh, what? So we lose. Oh, that's an outrage. We've won the game. we'll hopefully win the tie. Like, what are we supposed to do here? Like, if the opposition's not very good, you have to beat them. We haven't beaten them convincingly, but we've won. Like, come on.
No, I think if we lose next week and we get knocked out, then we can all agree with Brett.
It's half time. We're 1-0 up at half time.
I mean, I must admit, I thought it was going to be fate that he would score tonight. I was so bored of hearing that.
And
scored more goals against Villa than any other team. Scored 10 goals. Blah 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 blah. We were linked with him, weren't we? Was it under Smith that we were linked with him?
I don't know. We definitely have been. I don't know whether it was the Smith era or not. Once we've been promoted,
I think it was when Wesley got injured. So what would that be? 2020.
2020, yeah.
I think we were linked with him, and we ended up signing Borja Baston and Ali Samata, because I think we were going to try and take him on loan, but I don't know whether we could.
Yeah,
because of
great memory.
We had Drinkwater on loan at the time.
Yeah, great memory. So I found an article from 24th of January 2020. Aston Villa transfer target Olivier Giroud is now a shock target for Barcelona. Well, that didn't happen either. Yeah, we were linked with him. Yeah, I completely forgot about that. He was obviously still at Chelsea, and we did have Drinkwater on loan. So, yeah, good memory from you. Fair play.
Occasionally, mate, these things that don't remember my name or what I had for breakfast, but there's something's lurking in there somewhere.
Can I just end with one little nugget? Unai Emery's 100th win as Aston Villa manager. In the content we were doing in the week, somebody in our YouTube comments said, when is he going to get his 100th win for the club? Because it's obviously been hanging over us, or hanging over him maybe, since the Brighton win, which was 99. It's now in a month to get to 100. When will he get to 100? And I replied, tongue-in-cheek more than anything, saying, Thursday. Don't worry about it. I replied just before he started saying, I told you. Not that I ever believed it, but I think he's the fastest manager. I think AVFC Stato posted to get to 100 wins or something like that in his time at the club for God knows how many years, whatever the record is, those kind of things. You can fill in the rest of the details. He's pretty good, isn't he,
He is, yeah. I mean, how many Duff managers would you have to add up to get to 100 wins? By the time Remy Gard and
going backwards chronologically.
Yeah, Remy Gard and Tim Sherwood and Paul Lambert, et cetera, et cetera. You could probably add up about 10 of those to get to find 100 wins. So, yeah, I know that the halo slipped with some in recent weeks after we've found it difficult to maintain our gap at in the top four, if you like. But he's a special coach, and we are very lucky to have him. He might be stubborn.
He's very stubborn.
Well, he is stubborn and insisting on playing players who we don't think should be given as many opportunities. But that's the manager's prerogative, isn't it? And ultimately, I know it's a bit of a crap thing to say because we're on here every week or several times a week, but judge his stubbornness at the end of the season, don't we?
Yeah, and in games as well, right? Everyone before this would have said Tammy should play and maybe Buendia shouldn't. And if we don't win the game and Buendia and Watkins play, that's the talking point. We come on here and we're going, what's he playing the same team for? We definitely should have insanity. He did the same thing. We've done all that. He's played the same team or some of the same players who maybe we thought they wouldn't. And we've won the game. Was it convincing? No, but we've won. Let's all move on to next week or move on to Sunday, first of all. Just to clarify that ham-fisted stat for me there. Emery becomes the third Villa manager to reach 100 wins for the club across all competitions. Emery's also the quickest to reach this milestone, doing so in 179 matches, 23 games fewer than Joe Mercer and 31 fewer than Ron Saunders. So only the third manager to do it, and doing it quicker by 20-odd games than the others as well. So, yeah, on to 200 wins for the club. Who would have had the most wins for us as manager? Going back to the black and white days, are we, I suppose?
I don't know, probably would be Ron Saunders, wouldn't it? He was there the longest, I'd have thought, in terms of...
I think you go back to the Victorian era. I mean, we had a manager who was here for 30 years or something, so by definition won loads of games. Of the modern era, Emery will win the most, I think.
Yeah, did we even have managers as such then? Was it just like mustachioed men who cycled penny farthings?
Wasn't it? Villa had the first ever proper manager or something. I mean, I'm testing my history here live on air, but I'm sure we were the first club to have like a proper manager.
Yeah, Mr. Rolinson, you failed your interview to become Aston Villa's new tour guide, I'm afraid.
Yeah, where's McDowell when you need him? Right. That'll do, I think. As I say, I think it will be you and I doing the Man United preview tomorrow or Saturday. So I don't want to kind of go into what we think of that now because we'll do it another time. It's half time in the tie. Villa are ahead. That's all we wanted. That's all we hoped for. Ollie Watkins has scored. Let's hope this is why this is the beginning of another little run. We spoke in the week about the last time we were in a bit of a funk. We got out of it by beating Bologna in Europe, Fulham, and then Feyenoord, and then we won God knows how many in a row. We'd all love it, wouldn't we, if we go on another record-winning run after this European win as well. Right, Matt, thank you for joining me on this one. Thank you for watching along or listening wherever you are, and we'll see you tomorrow or Saturday for the Man United preview. See you later.